Coach, your guys had to learn under prior last preseason and the season. What's it like having a spring now for these guys just to work at your own pace and evaluate and instruct, really?
Yeah, it's been great. Even though we've only had 3 practices now, just the familiarity, going with Tyson in the weight room from January and February, just everything, stupid things like knowing where to go on the field and where this drill is. You can just get so much more work done because they kind of know the expectations and kind of what's supposed to happen. And so, more meeting time, all that stuff. It's just been really good. You can see them picking it up, obviously faster than before.
Along those lines too, you're starting not from scratch like you would have last spring, but with a basic experience. You have so many guys back, both yourself and Coach Spurrier. How much easier does that make the teaching since they've seen what it's like in a real game?
Yeah, a bunch. Obviously we have a ton of examples from games to how to do it wrong is what I showed my guys, unfortunately, and but we got that corrected. Been showing a bunch of old tape. Two of other guys doing what we're asking them to do offensively, and so you have time to do that a little bit in the off season, and so yes, you're right, a good starting point, and it might help us in the long run that our starting point before was just thrown into the fire, and so from a toughness standpoint that hopefully will help down the road a little bit.
Importantly, Dave, I know we've seen a guy like Jaden kind of playing a couple of different spots for y'all, but when it comes to him and the freshman year that he had, what's kind of the next progression for him? What do you guys kind of see as, something that he can kind of take that next step?
Yeah, just really learning how to run routes, just really truly being a receiver. And I know that sounds, I'm trying not to be sarcastic. I've told him the same thing. He's really highly competitive and is really good with the ball in his hands, but definitely needs to get better without the ball. And if he is with his routes, he'll get it a lot more, and he's starting to understand that. And he wants to be good, and that's the best part. That's the type of kid you want to coach, but plenty to get better at and improve on, playing faster, and then just kind of learning the game. And he's sharp. He just got to continue to learn our stuff.
Kind of see that. What kind of goes into that? Is it a matter of just getting the reps? Is it a matter of footwork? Is it a matter of just kind of knowing where you're going to go? Like, how do you kind of go about teaching that or working through that?
Yeah, all of that, and it's been good for him. But I try to cut up a bunch of stuff from the last really 4 or 5 years of our offense, and then I'll intercut it with some of his stuff, and he's all of them are like, geez, when you look at the first couple games to even now, and so they realize it. And one thing I talk about is clear minds equal fast legs. And so they just kind of know, there's some gray area with some of our routes, especially with my guys. And so, playing much faster has been a key and an emphasis the first 3 practices. And they have so far because they just, know what they're doing a lot better. They're not where we want them to be, but they've come a long way since, I guess September, so.
John Sokolov.
Kind of going off that, you kind of alluded to it there, but was there any type of off-season instruction that you kind of gave Jaden, like hey, like in order to work on this, like do this, and how did that kind of look, and what were those discussions like?
Yeah, we kind of did that. I did that with all of our guys. Austin Williams has been around for a while, and so he would at times organize that, just release stuff, some cone work, getting some of the equipment things out with, like I said, the arms, and working some bags. And then nowadays especially, they really like to see it. Like, I had enough drill tape where I could show them, this is what I want you to do, and this is how it applies in the games. And this is the time of year you can kind of take some more time to do those kinds of things. During the season, they're still learning it, and we're like, all right, we're going to play Kentucky. So, it just, and that is what it is, right? Nobody cares. We had to deal with it. So, but, they can kind of, there's a lot of been those, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, and I saw him do it, now I have to do it. But yeah, really all the blocking too, screens, just seeing people do it the right way and then them bringing along, it's been better.
Steve Robertson.
Coach, you all have signed several receivers in the couple classes that you've been here. You know, where do you feel like you are from a number standpoint? Are you where you want to be? And also, how do you feel about your newcomers at this point?
Yeah, I definitely think we're getting there. You know, we have, you know, we don't really even lose a ton of guys, you know, in the next year or two, really. You know, not a ton, but, or at least for the next year. And we like the guys we got coming in. You know, it's still interesting. You know, some of our guys in our building that do a great job with recruiting, they've seen the kids more than we have. Like I've told a couple of the receivers that I've talked to, like, well, I hope you're as tall as they say you are because I've never seen you before, which is just crazy, right? But we're excited about all of them. I know on tape we really like all of them, and we'll put them wherever they need to go. Probably once they get here. You know, we have an idea, me and Coach Spurrier, but that always can change and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully none of them are like, you know, 5'2" and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of crazy.
David Murray.
Coach, talking about putting guys in places, at this point, are you and Coach Spurrier considering swapping some guys inside outside, or are you pretty much set in spring who's going to be where?
I think of the guys we have right now that are here practicing with us, I think we're probably close to where we want to be. Honestly, you know, I jokingly always am trying to fight for Tulu, but I don't think I'm going to win that battle. But no, I mean, yeah, we kind of like, you know, we feel pretty good about where the guys are at right now, and that's good. I'm glad we do because they can all focus on that position. What do I need to do in that regard? Which again, with what we do, well, with what anybody does is important. All right, here's where I line up. Here's what I do every day. So I think that'll help guys get better too. We moved around a lot of guys in the fall, and it hurts you know, from a growth standpoint.
Joe Coleman.
Coach Rufus Harvey is a guy that, you know, local guy, a lot of people around Starkville, you know, pay attention to and things. Just kind of curious where he is right now, and just where you kind of see him. And obviously there's a lot of competition and things. Is he a guy you might see working himself in and getting some action in 2021?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I'm on him about, you know, ultimately that's on him. You know, efforts between Rufus and Rufus, you know, and our job is to get it out of him. But you know, I've been telling him, and he's a really good kid. He's a really smart kid. You know, he kind of, you know, coming in last year, and then he kind of got a hamstring early on. You know, it's kind of obvious that he probably wasn't going to help us, and he kind of had that attitude a little bit. And so, you know, I've gotten after him about, all right, now you're rolling, you're eligible, let's go. And he's doing well. He's doing well. And so, like all freshmen, they got to grow up a little bit, and time will tell. But yeah, I would like for him to, definitely get in the mix.